Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Chris and Tammy here, coming to you live. This is actually our second segment. As you are aware, we started the very first session where how to recruit 10 people in 30 days. We had Joel as your guest speaker. We kind of give you kind of the lay of the land and exactly what you need to be aware of, where to find the tools, where to access the details you need to be able to move forward. And then last week, Tammy and I worked on the first 10 days. Remember, 30 days, we cut in three segments. What you do on your first 10 days. And we'll kind of revise that a little bit. And before we begin here, let me just, first of all, put the training on. There we go. Oops. Let me change to the next slide. There we go. Okay. First of all, I want to welcome everybody. I really appreciate all of you here that are coming bright and early. Lou, thank you so much. And really appreciate your feedback, by the way, when you actually go on Telegram and encourage people to join in, because it is such an important training, folks. These are segments that will really, really help you. So welcome, Lou. Appreciate that. Regeneration Zone, welcome. Great to have you here from Las Vegas. What a beautiful place to visit. Let's see here. We have Breeze from Victoria, Australia. You guys been doing well in the Olympics. Well done. Let's see here. We have Barbara, welcome, from West Virginia. We have Susan from North Caledonia. Welcome. Let's see here. We have Urban from Thailand. This is so awesome. I love going around the world here, folks. Let's see. We have Tizitia. Welcome from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Welcome. We have here Susan from I think I did mention you, New Caledonia. I have to pronounce this name a few times. Okay, let's see here. We have Francis from Ghana. Welcome. Is it Accra? I know most people, actually, that's where the big city is. Tammy and I have been there, I don't know, about 11, probably 12 times or so. Yeah. Mark Stevens, welcome from Adio, USA. Welcome. We have James from South Africa. Actually, we have some great folks that are coming from South Africa right now. They're going to be building God back up. That's exciting. Well done and welcome. We have here Raymond from Pennsylvania. Welcome. Let's see here. We have Roland from Ghana. We have Obasima, welcome, I believe from Ghana. We have Zoltan from Hungary. Oh, this is so awesome. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. We have Patricia. We have Oba, I already mentioned. I think David from the Philippines. Welcome. We have Mawuko from Ghana. Again, welcome. We have Kelly Bright from New York. We have Kidesh TV from Ghana. Let's see. This is awesome. Let's see. We have Virginia from Ghana. We have Impredidor. You guys are really putting me to the test here. From Colombia. Well done. Great to have you here. We have Tia. Welcome. We have Fulera from Belgium. Great to have you here. We have Felix from Ghana. How are you, buddy? Great to have you here. We have Johnny from Ghana. We have Charles from Prince Edward Island. Oh, wonderful. This is such a good place. Yeah. And you and I, welcome. Great to have you here. We have Richard from BC, Canada. So, folks, what we want to do here is we want to focus on what are the next stage. So now you have some people that are in the pipeline, right? You're starting. Some of you maybe haven't started yet. Listen, if you haven't started yet, this is day one. And remember, on every segment, we will have a reference to previous trainings that we've done. So you can click on them. We do recommend for you to reach them, to go listen to them. And the reason why is because there are some segments where we talk about where to get to tool. When I tell you that we have a board with information for you to access, your scripts, we'll talk about that briefly. These links were provided in these trainings, right? So it's hard for us to keep repeating because the trainings become too long. So you have to go back to these trainings to get that information. But today's day one. And remember, September is a new month. You could choose to do the same 30 day, in September and then October and then November, just by following the strategies that we're sharing here. And every month could be a new 30-day month. If, let's say, the first month you were kind of warming up, you didn't have a chance. So keep that in mind. So don't feel discouraged. Well, I didn't really start yet, so it's still late for me. No, it is not. Absolutely not. That's why these calls are recorded. And the fact here in the next segments that we're talking about here, we're really focusing on the following up. The fortune is in the follow-up, folks. This is where some of us have made millions in this business, is because we stay the course. And we always follow up and follow through in our follow-up process. Try to say that 3 times in a row. So this is so important. So we're going to be focusing a lot on that. So Tammy, let's talk a little bit about the agenda.
Yeah. So as Chris said, we're going to do a quick recap, which I'll be sharing with you. We're going to talk about the importance of follow up and building those relationships, in a timely manner. And how often do you do it? The techniques of follow up, handling objections. And the key is to build really strong relationships because not everybody's going to jump in the first time you say hello, right? It's all a process. And some of the tools and resources that you have for the follow up, we have a system in place for you. And then, of course, there's scripts as well. So we're going to go through that with you today. So, Chris, go to the next slide on the recap part of it. And it's all about doing intensive efforts. And Chris and I have been doing this a long time. So we just get real focused on bringing new people in a short period of time to create momentum. And then we nurture these people and we get them to copper and then help them get their people to copper. So that's a training process. That's leading by example and leading the team. But right now we're talking about the recruiting aspect. So like Chris said, if you have done your first 10 days and you have many people in your pipeline, this session is very, very important for you. Okay, because you want to make sure that you're constantly feeding them, which is the follow up process. Now, if you haven't started, don't beat yourself up, you guys. Seriously, don't beat yourself up. Today could be day one in your 30 days, right? And you want to make sure that you run for 10 days. That's the key. Run for 10 days, concentrated effort, strategic use of your time. A perfect example. We're in the run phase right now, Chris and I. So we're doing lots of stuff, reconnecting with old friends. We have some follow-ups that we had before the August rush started. So we're getting back with those people. We're on social media talking to new people. We're doing a little bit of everything. And yesterday I went with one of our team members. Some of you might know her, Jasmine Tiberge, invited me to Niagara Falls and to go see a Black Eyed Pea concert. So you might hear my voice a little bit cracky today. I might have some brain farts here and there because I'm just running on adrenaline right now with the energy. But while we were out there, guess what we were doing? We were networking, we were connecting with people, and we're doing this while we're having fun. Okay, so always remember that. Don't say, "Oh, well, I can't prospect anybody today because I'm going to the beach." What a great way to connect with people, right? We have a festival going on along the waterfront here where we live every year. There's a festival, there's a live band. So I got more bands today, but there's booths everywhere. Guess what I did? We organized an event. We have some of our team members coming over and we're going to walk the streets here and we're going to network. So there's always opportunities. So don't make excuses, you guys. Seriously, don't make excuses because, yeah, you're just robbing yourself from great opportunities to connect with people. And then, of course, you've got the tools and techniques. We have our links that we leverage constantly to get people to put their name and their email, and which puts them into your pre-enroll, or you get them signed up directly. There's different links there. Chris, can we share the system with them that Anne's there right now? Anne, are you okay if we share that? I know I'm kind of throwing it out there, but you and James, oh my gosh, you guys put such an amazing tool together for people to leverage and share with their team members. It's like the Got Back Up tour.com. She said, yes, please. And would you mind sharing that in the link? That would be fabulous. You guys did. I love this video. And we're all about sharing, you guys. That's one thing about Chris and I. Everything we do, we share. And we share because we want people to evolve. And then, of course, team support. Okay, you want to leverage as much support as you can at this time. And don't ever say, Oh, well, I don't want to bother them because they're also doing the August rush. No, you need to bother your support team because it's not even bothering them. They're helping you grow your business. Guess what happens in return? They're growing their business. Okay, so it's a team effort. It's creating win-win constantly in this. So, Chris, you want to go ahead with the next slide?
Yes, absolutely. You know, folks, in light of the new compensation plan, some of you have done, I've seen an increase, and some of you I've seen a decrease. And there's a reason for that. Now, one thing is we're working on the follow-up segment, but understand one thing. As you're following up with people, people need to understand that let me just focus here. That people need to understand the benefit for them financially. Folks, I know it's not about the money, but let's face it, folks. Money ranks right up there with oxygen. I'm sure you agree with me. With no money, it's difficult to breathe air. So the fact is, we have a wonderful opportunity here, but it's important that you highlight the areas that people can actually identify and see the value of getting involved. Because we have an amazing product. It is a phenomenal backup software system. Absolutely amazing. But understand that people need to feed. And for that, they will focus their time and energy where they're going to feed. So kind of let me walk you through a little bit of the plan. So let me make sure that okay, just want to focus right now. Okay, just 1 second. Okay, so you guys are seeing this. Perfect. Okay, so you can see right now that looking at the legacy bonus grid. So first of all, folks, there are 7 ways on how we get paid. You really need to understand the cab, which is, I think, pretty straightforward. I'll cover that. You need to understand the 2 tiers of cycle bonus and how do you get from tier 1 to tier 2. And understand that these percentage will vary from month to month. As the company increase in value, as their profit increased in value, and more people come on board, you understand also that the tiers are going to increase in value. That you need to understand the cycle match bonus, right? And you need to understand what level you need to be on to benefit from that. That's what I want to walk you through on. And the generational bonus are very important. Okay, because when you reach the goal level, you have access to number 1, number 2, and number 4. Number 3, you need to be higher, and that's what I'm going to show you. Here's how this works. So first of all, if you look at the plan here, folks, understand this. When you're a copper, that means you sponsor 1% on your left, 1% on your right. It's as simple as that. So from there, you start earning tier 1 cycle. You see all the lines, the negative signs here. This means that there's no payments coming from all these levels. So reaching copper, you're going to receive the cab, which is when you sponsor someone, and you're going to also receive the tier 1 cycle. Okay. Now, as a silver, same thing. But now as a gold, you start benefiting from not from tier 2. You're still on tier 1 on the cycle, but you are going to benefit from generation. What is generation? Right? So you don't get compressed, generation in a moment. And I'll share with you what that means in a minute. But as a goal, you start benefiting from another added bonus. As a platinum, at this point, now you're moving from tier 1 to tier 2. So when you become platinum, and I know I just saw this morning Lucy Caron hit platinum. Congratulations! I know that Tammy's going to talk about that in our group. And make sure, folks, that you always promote your personals into your respective groups, and especially the Telegram group that we have that everybody's in. Now, from there, you get to tier 2, and you also get generation bonus. And I'll show you that in a minute. And don't worry if you don't understand fully, but I want you to get the idea. Okay. Now, if you want to earn matching check, there's a lot of money on the matching check because every time you bring someone in and they earn money from tier 1 or tier 2, you're going to be receiving now what we call a matching check as a sapphire. So as a sapphire, you start receiving matching check. You see what's going on? It's like the gateway is starting to open up for you to benefit a whole lot more. So what the company says is if you help your team earn money, we will give you more money and we'll start opening the gateway for you to earn a whole lot more bonuses. So let me just carry on here because I'm just going to stop at Sapphire here. So if we carry on, when you look at this here, folks, you need to understand that as an overall, right, the payout allocation is 75%. So if the company, let's just say, have profited with 100 million, right? Well, 75 million is paid. Now, I don't know what the numbers are. I'm just giving you an example here. Okay. So out of that, the cab, this is when you enroll people. And I'll come back to that in a minute here. 25% from the 75% that is provided in the compensation plan is paid out to the associate. Okay. Now, as you start earning cycles, right, 37% is taken from the total amount that is allowed into the cycling. So cycling, it's an area you want to focus your energy on, and you definitely want to be on tier 2 to maximize the amount of cycles. Okay. Now, dynamic compression and in compression, it's 25%. Okay. So this again is part of that 75%. Then there's rank pool, 9% is allowed. And then there's a leadership pool, 4%. And then you have the total of the 75%. This is how it is kind of cut into pieces, matter speaking, that is divided to compensate. So you look at, there's a lot of money here. There's obviously more money as when you start recruiting people, but you'd be surprised on how much money there is in a generation. So let me carry on a little bit. So what happens here, as you move up in rank here, folks, okay? And I'm just spending a bit of time to be outside of the context of our training for you to have just an idea where you need to focus your time. Because if I know if you're motivated about the plan, you don't explain that to a prospect. I'm explaining this to you so you have a better understanding where your energy has to be focused on. So look, as a bronze, you're personally one person. Okay, great. Well done. As a copper, you've brought in 2 people. Now, as a silver, you brought in the same 2. You don't need to me more, but I do recommend to continue building. But the fact here is you have 1 left, but now there's 1 person in your team that became copper. 1 person. Now you're starting to open the gateway. And as a goal, that's when the bonuses starts coming in. Because you've sponsored 5 people. That's why I suggest you keep sponsoring folks. So keep sponsoring more. Okay. So you sponsored 5 personally. And again, it's the same 2 and same. Look, I just want you to pay attention here. This here does not change all the way up to cutting to black diamond. So what's the difference? Think about it. What's the logic here? It's important to bring people to the business, but it's even more important to make sure that when you bring people on board, you help them qualifying for their ranks. Because as you're doing that, that's when the money will come your way. If you build this business on the me, myself, and I way, you won't be as successful. But if you build this business in helping the community do better, your ranks are going to go up. It's one of the reasons why my wife, like I hit triple diamond, right? Tammy hit diamond. We have double diamond. Randy hit, and many, and some are Dr. Asari hit diamond. And I know there's others. I know Noelle hit double diamond, I believe, or diamond. I think she's double diamond. And there's others that are coming up. And folks, I'm telling you, eventually, think of the popcorn effect. Pop, 1 diamond. Pop, another one. Pop, another one. And then 60 seconds went on, and then pop, 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 pop. This is what's going to happen. Diamonds are going to pop in left, right, and center. And that's when you're going to see a lot of momentum and a lot of excitement, a lot of money in the air. But the point here is these are the ranks that you need to understand. How do you become sapphire? You want to start earning matching check from your personals. It is important that you have 10 people. Why do we teach you the 4 benchmark in reaching 10? That's why we are teaching you to qualify all the way up to emerald. Okay. Same 2 left, same 2 right. Now, what's happening here is you need to make sure that you have coppers, where you need to have at least 4 copper in separate line of sponsorship. If you don't fully understand what that means, I do recommend you go back to past trainings that we've done, explain the compensation plan, and listen to Eve's training, which you can have access in your back office. And Tammy and I, in fact, I'm probably going to be doing this, is I'll be going to do a detailed training on this particular PowerPoint. I'm almost done here. So I want you to understand where to focus. So you want to start earning a matching check from all your personals based on their cycles. You need to hit Sapphire. So that means you need to have sponsored 10 people. You need 2 on your left, 2 on your right. You need to have at least 5 copper, right? So these are people that sponsor 1 on the left, 1 on the right. It's not that much. Think about it. Okay. You need to have 5 copper. Some could be personal to you. Some could be coming from your downline, but it has to come from someone you brought in. But it does not have to be someone. You can have 5 copper. None of them came from you personally, but as long as they come from someone you brought in down the line, if you understand my meaning. Okay. That's what this means. You need to have at least 40 people in your enrollment tree. That's what we teach you on the 4 benchmark to become a gold. And this is it. Okay. So as you become a gold, you start earning bonuses. And when you become a sapphire, now we're adding a bonus, which is a matching check bonus. So I hope this makes sense to all of you. I'm not going to go any much further, but again, if you want to understand that, folks, all you need to do is show up for a presentation on Wednesdays and on Fridays, and all the presentation that your upline leaderships do. This is done over and over and over. Okay, very simple. And this is to become a goal. Understand again, and Eve explains that very, very well. You need to sponsor 5 people. Okay, so you see here that you have sponsored 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you see the red circle. Well, that means they're copper. So one of the 5 happens to be someone you personally enrolled. They became copper. I know that Tammy and I, whenever we enroll someone, we want to make sure they hit copper, every single one of them. But it doesn't have to be a personal. Look, this one here was introduced by someone else in your team, by someone you personally enrolled. So that's number 2. And here's another copper that was not introduced by you, but by someone you've introduced. Here's number 3. So that's what we need here. Is you also need 1 copper in 3 separate lines. When that happens, now you start to earn other bonuses, right? So you need to understand the 2-team tree. See, the 2-teams tree based on what you brought into the business, right? So if you look at the 25 enrollment, it's based on all your personals and within their personals. The 2-teams tree, that's the combined of everybody from spillover and everything else. So you understand the difference between 2-team tree and the enrollment tree. That's the difference over here. And Eve talks about that in her video. To become gold again, it's just another representation, which I'm not going to repeat. But here's what's important here that you understand, right? So now let's talk about the 37% allocation. So this is the cycles, right? As a copper and a silver and a gold, yes, you get cycle tier 1. You want to have more money. Well, you need to become at least a platinum. Now you're moving to cycle tier 2. So the percentage is higher. Your income will grow more. Okay. So some of you that hit platinum, congratulations, because now you just moved from tier 1 to tier 2. And now where it becomes interesting, and to start earning matching cycles, you need to be a sapphire, as explained earlier. See? So it's as simple as that. So the generation, and I'm going to stop here, folks. What's happening here is in your business, and I know the slides may seem a little bit confusing, but I still want you to have an idea of how this works. Okay. So what's going on is up to 10 generation of gold. So on both left and both right leg, sometimes you have a side that has a lot of people, right, in your business that are not necessarily brought in by you, but it's all there. You can cash in on that. You get 2.5% from their orders that are there. It may not seem like a lot, but once you start having hundreds, thousands, it really, really accumulates, folks. And again, over here, I do recommend you listen to the video, because what's happening is it explains to you how this all works. Okay. And I'm not going to go through all of this here, but all these people that are all placing their $10 a month order, if you are a goal, okay, you start cashing in on all these $10, you get 2.5% from that. And you can have hundreds of people until you get the next goal. And that's what this means. And if you don't fully understand that, don't worry about it. Okay. And it goes on and explains exactly how this is. So what's important, folks, here is that you have a general idea where to focus your energy on. And I do recommend that you watch the video in your back office under the extra tools and watch the video that Eve has shared with the this PDF open, so you can and at the same time analyze what's going on. If you have a clear vision on what you need to focus your time and energy, the work becomes easier. That's what's really, really important. So I spent a little bit of time on this, folks, because I know that a lot of you might have been really excited because you saw an increase in your check because your people, your personals have grown, have gone up in volume and have gone up in rank. So your income has grown. And some of you that maybe have just brought one on the left, one on the right, nothing happened. That's all you did. Then obviously you might have seen some changes because you don't get the 25% matching check anymore. That income has been dispersed and all these other bonuses to encourage you to help others make money. And when that happens, your income increases. So at this point, Tammy, I know I spoke quite a bit. I'm going to turn this over to you to continue the segment on following up.
Yeah, so you're probably asking, how is this all tying in to a follow-up process? And what we wanted to do is get you to see the bigger picture, because when you're excited about the potential, then you're going to do whatever it takes to go out there to tell other people about it, to create excitement for people to want to be part of it. And in the process, it's all about building relationships, building trust, especially if you're talking to people you don't know. Like Abraham, I saw you a little bit early in your comments, with all the connections you have with LinkedIn, like a social media platform. These are, often they're really total strangers, right? I have relationships with some of my LinkedIn prospects because we've already had messages. We've already talked to each other. We know what each other does. We've even been on Zooms together. They weren't open at the time, but I can get back to them. The key is to go in and find out where people are at in their lives, right? Find out where they're at in their lives, what they're passionate about. You can, in conversation, ask them if they're open to having a look at other things. And you can let them know that there's something that's exploding in the marketplace because everybody needs it. And this is all in the trust building. Everybody uses it. Everybody needs it. And everybody's paying way too much with their providers right now. And this company that you're part of offers 3 times more data storage for you to, fill up your phones with photos and videos and stuff like that. So, and you just create curiosity around that. There are scripts. And to be honest with you all, I'm not a script person. I just like to naturally connect with people and have conversations. And through these conversations, through the texts, or you're on a Zoom having a chat and you can see each other, or you're belly to belly in front of somebody, you're building rapport, you're nurturing relationships, right? And often it's not in the first go that things are going to happen. You have to understand it's a process. So don't beat yourself up along the way. It could be 5 or even 7 exposures. I like to try and break those exposures down. I'm the type of person that's going to move the needle quicker, and I'm going to test people. Like I want to see what their reaction is when I invite them to the next step. And if they turn around and they tell me that, they're super busy right now, they're just about ready to go on vacation, I'm not going to invite them to a presentation. They're getting ready to go on vacation, right? So I'm going to honor them, respect them, and I'm just going to say, hey, when are you back from vacation? Let's reconnect. And we go from there. And then I start with, how was your vacation? Not like, oh, by the way, you know what I mean? It's you got to read the temperature, right? And just respect people. And it's all in the nurturing, and building rapport with people. And then always checking your conversion rates. If you can, get people to sign up quicker than you did, 2 months ago, that means you're growing, you're evolving, and getting people to look, with your passion and excitement. Okay, so maybe Chris, go to the next one. Um, uh, so on this one here, it's frequency, right? Because people always ask us, well, how often should we follow up? And in conversation, I just want to tell you what I do in my timely and frequency. Here it says establish optimal intervals for follow up, ideally every 5 to 7 days to maintain engagement without overwhelming people. And I like to move the needle a little bit quicker, but that's my style. Okay, so everybody's got a different style, and but if you can move the needle a little bit quicker, then it's great. And you test the water to see what they say, and that's what I do. I ask them if they're open to look at opportunity. They might say that they're really busy doing things right now, and I say, hey, what are you up to? And they tell me, and then I'll respond based on the conversation. Like, let's say, for example, they say, I just started a new job. Okay, and I go, oh my gosh, that's fantastic. And then in the conversation, I find out what their position is, and then I'm going to say something like, hey, by the way, just out of curiosity, I'm kind of a random person. I say, do you spend money on data with your storage? And the reason I'm asking you that is because so many people keep getting the messages that their data is full and they need to pay for more. Often I can move them into a direction that they go, oh my gosh, I just got that message. And all of a sudden I took the focus off the excitement of the new job, which I congratulated them and everything. And I kind of move people, but that comes with practice, you guys. And try to move the needle. And then they'll be curious enough to say, oh, send me the link. I did this actually yesterday while we were sitting and having a coffee, killing some time in Niagara Falls. I purposely sat down at a table beside a Philippine gentleman, purposely, by the way, and got talking to him. And I opened him up to a conversation. His family's there. What do? He's on vacation. Guess what he's doing? Pictures, videos, right? So I got talking about the phone and data storage. And he says, oh my God, and my kids keep bothering me because they want to add more storage. And I said, oh my gosh, there's a reason I'm sitting beside you. And then we went into conversation about this. And he says, oh, she said, send me the information. I said, well, let's connect on Facebook. We got connected on Facebook. And then I sent him the link. And Jasmine was right there watching me do it. So it was a lot of fun because she got to see me in action. But that's what we do, you guys. I want to spend time doing this because that's what it's about. This is what we do for a living. We create curiosity in conversation. Find out more about them than you talking about yourself. Okay? People's favorite subject is not going to be you. It's going to be them. So get to know them. These relationships you're nurturing, because now I have a new friend. He lives in UK. He's from the UK. We got talking about Black Eyed Peas. There's a Filipino in the band, Black Eyed Peas. So guess what I did? I videotaped them last night. Him specifically talking about Philippines. I'm going to send him the video because I'm building rapport. And then I'm going to find out if he had a chance to have a look at the short intro that I sent him and go from there. And I'm sharing a live conversation with you so that you get an idea of how all of this works. Okay. Be persistent, yet respectful. Okay. Because this guy's on vacation. So I don't want to push too much. He's having a good time with his family. Okay. And then you have a great follow-up system. We've had great conversations. I know where I'm going to go with the conversations and the flow because I know what the guy is looking for. right now because we talked about his job, we talked about his kids not wanting to work jobs, they want to be entrepreneurs. So I know exactly where I'm going with this specific person. Everybody is different. You have to understand that. There's no script for not everybody's equal. That's probably why I don't follow scripts. There's guidelines, yes. There's bullet points, yes, that you want to go through, but get to know people and move the needle. And the faster you move the needle for them to look at something, the better. If they're not open, you know what, guys? Great. I'm happy when they say this is not for me because I'm not going to waste any time with them. I'm going to move on to the next person. I don't get emotionally attached to any no's, and you should not either. No means often not now. The timing's not good, but there's people that it's just not for them. So move on, right? So
So one
that's where
thing,
we're going with this.
yeah. So one thing that's important here is technique to follow up. I just want to focus on Tia here is how do I follow up with leads, participate in a co-op? I participate in a co-op every time it's launched because I would like to add, increase my numbers. And the one thing, Tia, that you need to be aware of, in light of that, is, you know, it's a numbers game when you're dealing with strangers, which most of them are not interested. They just put their name. They don't even, sometimes they have some email they create for putting their email so that they don't get harassed, for the rest of their lives on something they prospected a year ago. So often the emails you get are not necessarily serious people. In some cases, they are. So it is a numbers game. So the fact here is what you need to be aware of is the consistency, right? So what do you want to do? So I want to talk about exactly this particular topic, technique for effective following up. So that's in line with how do you deal with your co-op leads? Credibility through collaboration. So one thing is three-way calls may not be necessarily possible when you just have an email. But what if you do, like Tammy talked about how she spent time taking these videos and she passed it on. So this could be put into a small segment, maybe even into your Instagram account. And you can have a reference to your Instagram account into one of your email. As you know, we got backup for your $10 a month. You have an email marketing system involved. And they all put in there and they start receiving emails. Well, depending if you fill them up or not. I know Tammy and I did our own, and then they get our emails. My point in saying here is the content we add in our emails are designed to establish some credibility, demonstrating what we have and how we live around this particular service or this opportunity, right? But it's important also in line is once someone is looking, third-party credibility has probably been the single most important tool in my business as to why Tammy and I have made millions of dollars in this business. I'm not kidding. And for those of you that don't know us, it may seem like right, whatever. But for those of you that know us, you know what I'm talking about, right? You don't own $1 million properties, waterfront properties in Florida and Toronto just by thinking about it, right? It costs money. Money has to come from somewhere. It doesn't just come from the sky. Well, you know what I mean, right? You have to work at it. So, and this point here is the one of the successful steps was to utilize third-party credibility by creating a Zoom session. Maybe in all my emails, I have a segment, establish. I have a calendar. If they click on that, it will create a link to connect on Zoom. Okay. Now, not everybody knows how to do that. I'm just telling what I'm doing. So the point here is you can have a Calendly or Google Calendar, whatever that is. You can program all of these things if you know, or hire someone to do it for you. There's a lot of people can do, or just go to YouTube. How do I do whatever? And it'll teach you everything. My point in saying here is when people click on that link, and you can encourage them to connect with you. You can have some pictures of an event you went to, and that's how this works, and have a conversation and maybe invite very often. And many of you do this. I invite Joel or other leaders, but I'm not going to waste time from a CEO of a company with someone who I know can rub 2 cents together. So at the end of the day, I do qualify my prospects from that point on, third party credibility might say, hey, listen, this person lives here and he has incredible skills and possibilities. And I know that speaking to you would, and I know that Joel has made himself available, but you have to be careful that Joel can't start doing three ways for everybody. So you have to make sure that you utilize your upline. I don't have an upline. My upline is Joel. So it's as simple as that. A matter of speaking, is the company. That's what I'm saying. Right. So that's what's going on. And what you have to do is you have to have multiple exposures, utilizing webinars, videos. Tammy talked about a video that Anne and Dr. James from Nigeria put together. Phenomenal. And now everybody has access to it through your link / the word system. And then you have that video there. And it's as simple as that. And then from there, it puts their name, their email, and their phone number. So they added the phone number. So that would be someone that you're probably, you wouldn't send that to a co-op because most people won't want to put their phone number if they don't know you. But someone that you're like my hairdresser, for example, or I should say my barber, I will send the one with his phone number. And they will put the phone number because they know me. I know them. So again, it's just common sense, but it's multiple exposures. And what's very, very important here is the personal narrative impact. What sharing personal experiences. This is what I said earlier with the credibility. Share personal experiences in your email. That's why TikTok and Instagram is so popular. Everybody's sharing their personal experiences, and people are so curious and so, what's going on in people's lives, because I'm bored with my life. I want to see what's going on in your life. That, I'm telling you, is attractive. People will watch. You take a picture, put it on top of your email, and you click on it, and then they can view the video of something you've done with your family. I'm telling you, they will click. That's the kind of thing. These are techniques that are effective in following up to get people to move forward. Back to you, Tammy.
Yeah, you mentioned you were going to do this slide, Chris, for the objections.
Okay. So what happens here with the objections here? And by the way, folks, that if you go to the board, I'm just going to take you there very quickly to show you where they are. Sorry about that. Here's the board. Let me go back into our board and let's see here on, let's see, recorded webinars. And I click on trainings. Let's see here. One of them is on, here we go. You can't really miss it, right? Here's the objection one. You click on that and you start watching that video. Again, it's just an idea on or clues, right? So you want me to share that with you. I'm going to go ahead and copy it and I'm going to put it right here for all of you to have access to. Okay. Now you have access to all the trainings. And by the way, for those of you that might have missed previous training, you see the August Rush campaign. They're all here. The first one, the second one, and the third one, that's the one we're actually doing right now. It's actually live, right? So it's just, again, food for thought. But what's important is you want to anticipate the objection, right? Proactively identify potential objections. You know that some case maybe the money. I know it's not a lot of money, but some folks are, depending on where you live, and it might be a little tight. Right. So you want to be ready where one thing that I share with people and say, I don't have the money. Well, my question, maybe it's a little bit bold. Some of you may or may not want to use this, but I would say something where, how long do you want to be in that state where you don't have enough money to buy a coffee? Mm-hmm. How long? And people, it shifts people's mindset. God, you're right. I got to do something about this. Right. So you want to kind of be in a position to be prepared. And that's what that training that I was just pointing you to, right? And you want to transform objections and go along with the objections. If someone says, I'm not sure about the security about this, I don't really know, I don't really trust it. First of all, send a video where Joel does a tour, and then invite some people that have experience with GotBack. There's many of us here that have experience using the software. I've been using it for 18 months now. Now I use it all the time. And what I like, if I delete a file from my local drive, it remains on the cloud. I know it's safe there. And often, someone want to have access to it. I deleted it from my local drive, but I can go on the cloud, create a link, boom, I share it with that person, right? So the fact here is you want to handle the objections in understanding the value of the product, but understanding also that, yes, it is secure. Here's why. And if people are stuck there, then that's okay. Go along and agree with them. And maybe it's just not for them. Maybe there can be something else that over time, if you maintain a good relationship, we will continue on. They might be open to listen to it again, review it again. Or maybe something's going to happen and suddenly they realize that on iCloud to get 6 terabytes, it's about $30 US. Okay. What is it? $10 for six? You know what? So you know what I'm saying? It's really interesting. If you maintain a relationship, they will remember you, and they're not going to distance themselves from you because you kind of got frustrated based on the fact that they didn't move along fast enough, or they weren't agreeing to, or they said something that might offend you. Just be careful with that, right? Empathy and understanding is so important, right? When you demonstrate empathy with people, I understand how you feel. Don't make them feel bad they don't have the money. Empathize with the fact they don't have any money. But my comment is, how long do you want to remain that way? Because once upon a time, I was in debt up to my eyeballs, right? I believed in the North American dream, and I've done some things, done some investments. Oh, it went against me. Oh, wow. Okay, what do I do now? Right? Things happen. There was challenges in my relationship once upon a time, right? Not Tammy, it was before, right? So, and then I met Tammy, which is where my whole life changed and it became for the better. No, but see, there was a situation where things were tough, but I didn't sit back and kind of started playing video games and watching Netflix all day long, right? If I choose to do that, it's my own time, but I have a plan. I have something that's moving forward. But empathize with someone's situation and not make them feel bad in the situation that they're in. And when you go along with the objection, you'll find that there will be an area where they may turn around, because now an objection, it's really a misunderstanding or a question that is unanswered. And once it is answered, then you can move on to the next stage and move the needle, as Tammy stated earlier, to get to the point of becoming a customer. Folks, it's $10 a month. It's not like you're investing thousands of dollars here to try a service. So again, food for thought on handling objections. Back to you, Tammy.
Yeah, just a quick one on the objection stuff. Is the initial objection, honestly, as you get to know people, and is often not even the objection. I hope you're hearing me. When you get to know people, and you start to find out, when they say, I've done this before. How many times have you heard this one? I've done this before and it didn't work for me. Okay, that's an objection. And you could say, tell me more about that. And the objection was more deep into, they took things personally when people were saying no, and they didn't know how to handle it, or different situations. People are going to say different things on the objection, and you got to keep asking questions. Tell me more. Tell me more about that. You want to know why they're feeling this way. And I'm telling you, when you get to the very core emotion of it, you'll find out that's when you've really opened them up, and you can help them overcome that by offering them something that can change everything for them. Okay. Often people just never had support. I don't know how many times I've handled this objection where, when it all boiled down, they either never took it serious. They talked to a couple people, they said no, they just kind of let it go. This stuff doesn't work. Or in the conversation, this is how I always was able to unfold the core why. And when you get really good at this on every single objection, is let them open up. Keep asking them more. I'm curious why you feel this way. I'm curious, and tell me more about that. And people will open up. You'll see, they'll open up. And practice. That you want to be great at signing people up in this business, you need to practice. And practice in handling objections, practice in constant follow up with people, and you'll see you're going to go a long way. You're going to grow into an incredible leader if you can do all of this stuff. And that's stuff that Chris and I did for years. And it's not something that was natural in us, you guys. You probably look at us and go, oh, yeah. No, I'm telling you, we're like everybody else. I was so scared for people to say no to me. And then I realized they're not saying no to me. They're saying no because something is uncomfortable to them. And then if I can unpeel the layer of onions to get them at an emotional state, that's when I can lift them up. I hope
So, Tammy, let's focus on the building strong relationship.
yeah. Okay. All right. He's telling me to move on, you guys. So it's, and this is it, Chris. This is really it. It's genuine connection is very important. Building relationships beyond transactions fosters loyalty. If people open up to you, it's because they feel like they can trust you and you genuinely care about them, right? And people are looking for friends like that. I know my friends, they genuinely care about me and my business partners. Personalization techniques, tailoring conversation to individuals. That's what I was saying. Like scripts are great for points, but everybody's unique. Okay, so you're going to tailor every conversation that you're going to have with people, and you'll get better and better and better as you do it. Okay. And then long term relationships. Don't just, oh, they're not interested. Forget it. Forget it. Forget it. Don't be like that. You want to realize that the timing's not working for them. Something's happening in their life right now. Just say, I can clearly see you've got a lot on your plate right now. Let's keep the conversation going. When do you think is a better time for me to connect with you? And they are going to tell you, you know what, maybe 3 months from now, maybe 6 months from now, they're going to tell you, put it in your schedule because they don't believe you're going to follow up with them anyways. They're just brushing you off because they're on to something else in their mind. Okay. So put it in your schedule, follow up with them, have that conversation like you just left that conversation 3 or 6 months ago. Talk about them and where they're at that state. That's when the relationship starts to build even stronger.
Now, there was a question, I'm looking for it on how do you follow up, and how do you know if you are people are responding? Right now, I don't have my back office open, and it's going to take too much time if I get off topic too much here. But my point in saying here is, you need your tools and resources for following up, folks. You cannot, once you start getting into this, you're going to have people that you're following up with. There's people that you need to talk to. There's people that are looking at the business or looking at the product, and it becomes very overwhelming. And you may start having some lack of clarity on where you are, and you're creating a jungle of everything that's happening in your business. And then what's happening is business is slipping through your fingers. And then you find out that someone you were talking to is in someone else's business. Did that ever happen to you? I know we're about 10 seconds delay here, but put in the chat, say yes if it has ever happened to you, where you're prospecting someone and that person ended up in someone else's team or someone else's business. And again, don't get upset with this, folks. Sometimes it happens. It happens to Tammy and I all the time. But the point here is because we're constantly talking to folks, right? So don't be upset with this. But what happens sometimes is because you kind of lost track of who you spoke to. And you remember, folks, that we don't own people, right? People can choose who they want to work with. That's why the relationship and taking the time is so important. Handling objection, we spend a lot of time on that. You notice that we're giving you a lot of time on dealing with the person in the follow-up process. So what you're looking for here is a CRM system. There's two systems that I use. Some of you are aware of the Now side, and I obviously use the God Backup all the time. Just this morning, I went ahead and I sent an email to all my pre-enrollees, to all my resellers, which are my personals, and also all my co-ops. Some of you are in the co-op, so the co-ops are arriving yesterday and so forth. They all receive emails, but they also receive that morning email. Is it overwhelming? They're not in a business yet. What's my goal with this? Is I use my CRM system to make sure I'm in touch with people and they see that, wow, this guy's really organized. It's not just a fly-by-night. He's obviously have a system, and they start researching. You're going to see all these trainings. Let me see if I should, maybe I should sign up with this guy. Maybe I should start this business. Right? I'm not expecting for them and some of them are seasoned networkers. You don't know who you're dealing with. But a CRM system is designed to manage and streamline all the interaction. One thing here you probably notice here, right? Social media, there's 3 steps. The thing is, often I get blank, right? I don't have any more ideas what to post because you got to continue posting, right? So there's some ideas that it generates from an AI, and it does the post for me, and then all I have to do is cut and paste and put it into these posts, and it goes based on my personal profile. And then got backup is my email marketing system. So there's my social media aspect of things, and there's my email marketing system. So this is what I use. So I leverage from my CRM system to stay organized, who I followed up with. I leverage from my systems to leverage social media, especially TikTok and Instagram. I'm also using Pinterest, because Pinterest, when you put a post, it stays there forever. It doesn't become obsolete over time. It's always on. Where in Instagram and TikTok, eventually there's less and less and less interaction. It becomes more obsolete over time, right? So there's different social media platform that has different functionality. Right. And I love the little videos and little messages. And I have my link because I converted my social media platforms as a business. That way there's more feature that opens up for you. You need to prove that you have a legitimate business, by the way. And then from there, it opens up. I know TikTok is very picky about that. Instagram is not as picky about this. So you can actually put a link if you convert your account as a business. So these are all things. So as I keep adding my videos or my comments and posts, what's happening is some are starting to attach to me. And now they're seeing this and say, oh, what is that link? Boom, they click on it. And what's the link they get? Well, it's the link that sent them to, I don't send them another video because it's full of videos that are there. I don't have to do another one. So in this case, what I do is I just put, I just as their name and their email, right? It's one of I think it's the bottom one. If you look at using these tools in English, and it's the bottom one on the right. And it has like the Instagram picture of a phone, and has your email, your name and email. That's it. And then I've noticed recently that people are popping in that are in my pre-enrollee just because of these social media activities. So it's important today, folks, to automate your business, right? I have emails that are going out all the time. My pre-enrollee, Tammy and I, what I did is I used all the emails that Joel created because I bought the package, right? And then from there, I just want him to open the email. And Joel is a master on getting people to open their emails. Once they open it, then I went in and I took the subject and I put in my ChatGPT 4.0. Can you create an email that is corresponding to this subject? And could you add this, and that? And boom, it creates all my emails. I said, now I'd like to create a series of 15 emails that are following this. And it did all of that. And then I modified them it's really cool, folks, once you start utilizing systems to systemize your business. Now, when someone becomes a pre-enrollee, they're going to be receiving 15 emails from me, not like all at once, right? It's going to be spread out throughout the time. But what's happening is that they're constantly reminded about, oh, do you remember this? Do you remember this? Do you remember this? That's why tools and resources are critical for you to follow up on. So we're almost done here, folks. So now you're seeing, so again, to remind you, we're on the second segment of the 10 days. Now people are starting to go through the funnel. What do? You bought some leads, you're doing this. So the information we share with you, I hope is helpful. So back to you, Tammy, on the scripts and so forth.
Yeah, so Chris shared with you where you can check out some of the scripts. There is a training that we did on follow-ups, gave lots of examples. We shared some examples today with you. And Chris shared a little bit about the emails as well, to have a series of emails. Once they put their name in their email, that's your goal when you're out connecting with people, is when they click on strangers. In general, strangers are not going to sign up right away in general, unless you have some really good quality time. They're really looking for something right now. It happens. But most cases, there's going to be a 5-7 time exposure. So that's why the email system is so important. Chris and I never knew how to do any of this stuff. The email system for the Got Backup, we bought the emails done for you so we could have an idea of what it looked like. And there was 10 emails when we bought them. And then we personalized them with our picture instead of the company and our information. And now we're so good at adding extra emails, and we've learned how to share source code for the ones that we created. Now, obviously, we're not sharing source code for the companies because people have to pay for that. But the stuff that we created, we've done that. And learning how to do this stuff. And you know what? Nobody taught me. Nobody sat down with Tammy and showed Tammy how to do this. I just went and watched every single video and I learned how to do it. And so I recommend to have a good best practice email follow-up system that creates engagement, value, and a close, creating that the fire of you want to be part of this. Click on get started today. All of that, you want to do that. And then texting messages. I constantly build relationships through texting until I can get them off a texting platform into having a conversation. If they're local, I'll meet them. If the conversation's following, they looked at the information, it's interesting for them, it's worth the time for me to spend some time with them. They get them to come and meet me. Or we do this online. We do this through the Zoom platform as well. So, or conversations. I've done stuff through Messenger. It depends on the market that we're working at. And Chris and I we're global leaders. So we tend to attract people in the global markets as well.
I agree, Tammy. And folks, in closing here, what's really important is persistence pays off, right? Be consistent and persistent. And it's important, if you recall in past trainings, again, you can go back to our past trainings on our board here, and to access setting goals in, we did some trainings on 101 success strategies and so forth. And we start with the benchmark. All these are very important, that you have a clear definition of what you want and where you're going with this, because there will be some tough times. There will be some discouraging times. There will be moments where you just want to quit and sign off with some other deal just because it seems greener on the neighbor's side, until you get there and you see the same patches, the same issues on the grass, if you start my meeting. My point here is we have an opportunity here that's very unique. The price point is extremely unique. What I mean by that is it's unique in the sense that it's so inexpensive, but the reward financially potential, I've never seen that before with this price point. It's really unusual. But always think of the concept of Netflix and Amazon Prime. I use them all the time, right? I mean, Amazon Prime, Jeff Bezos is one of, I think, the second richest person on the world. It's him and Elon, you know what I mean? But my point in saying here is that he created a system because a significant amount of the world that are using Amazon are paying the $9 a month to have access to Amazon Prime, to have access to faster delivery, to have access to all the perks that comes with it. So my point is, God Backup is kind of like that. And eventually the numbers are going to grow. And I'm not kidding. So some of you that's maybe been discouraging because they've been in business for 1 month and you're looking for a $10,000 a month income. Come on. Let's be realistic here, folks. How long did it take you to even make $5,000? And do you even make $5,000 a month after working for 40 years of your life with a corporate company or the government? You know what I'm talking about. Whatever it is that you do. It takes time. But with God Backup, it's accelerated. So we're not talking years and years and decades here. We're talking months and a few years. But you have to be consistent and persistent. And you have to stay the course, regardless of what happens. If something doesn't work, don't get discouraged. We'll fix it. That's what's so beautiful about what we have here. And inspire your team. Sometimes people get discouraged, folks. Don't turn around and play along with that discouraged situation going on in your team. If you see there's a little cancer that's starting, you need to put it down right away, not in a negative way. What I mean by that is you want to motivate your team, embrace your team to to be proactive and engage. This is what this 10 recruits in 30 days is all about. We're seeing more activities in August, just the first week, that we've seen the entire month of July. And there was some activities, but you see what's going on. Imagine if all of you participate, what's going to happen? And when we start having diamonds popping like popcorn, I'm telling you, be ready for momentum because it's fast. But we are just starting. So the role of the mindset is you want to stay positive. You want to encourage people and not play along with the negativity and what you're not happy about. It's very, very, very important. Folks, you're looking at something here that can completely change your life. And I know we're a little bit over time here, but this is the kind of opportunity that can really, really change your life, but not just your life, the people around you. But if you want to be successful in God Backup, you need to understand that it's not just about you. You need to do the recruiting. You need to do the activities, because if there's nobody in your team, there's nobody to do anything with. But once you got people on your team, you want to encourage them to start moving forward, to start seeing the big picture and staying the course by providing the tools, providing these kind of trainings for them to see what's in store for them if you keep working at it. And I think one of the biggest things I would just want to finish with here is people get distracted all the time, especially in North America. There are so many deals out there, and I know that happens all over the world, but in North America, we are overwhelmed. It's a jungle of opportunities out there. Every minute. Just yesterday, some guy texted me some crypto opportunity and things like that, where, again, folks, it doesn't stop. There will always be. So if you're a person like a giraffe that always looks to see what's going on around, right, and you never focus on what you're doing on, you are going to have a hard time succeeding, because you need to focus, laser focus, like an eagle. And when you see your target, matter speaking, you go for it. The target is the opportunity that it provides and the prize that you can have. So remember, is go back and understand the comp plan so you understand where you need to focus your energy. It's not just about recruiting people. It's about making sure that the people you recruit become copper. That's the secret of building this. If this is duplicated within your organization, you will thrive. So Tammy, do you have anything else you want to share as we end?
Just prospect, you guys. Get out there and talk to as many people as you can, no matter how many people are in your organization or that you brought in. Just go out and get more. I love what Dr. KOA said. Forget about the 10, just do 30 in 30 days. And that's a true leader. Just go out there, make it happen. Inspire your teams to do the same thing, because if you set a target high, even if you don't hit it, you're going to be higher than you did in numbers if you didn't set that target so high. So don't let that high target intimidate you, because it's going to kick your butt. It's going to put fire under your butt to get out there and make things happen. So I know I got a fire under my butt, and we're going out there. There's a whole bunch of tents along our street, and we're going to go out.
We're going to be talking to people today. Absolutely. I know I have a training to do with the team in Ghana with the compensation plan here, folks. I look forward to see you there. So at the end of the day here, folks, is what's important. Just make sure you stay plugged into your organization, stay plugged into your team, stay plugged into your leadership. And the board that I just shared with here, it's just for you to have access to. It's very possible that you want to have your own ecosystem, copy whatever's there, create your own, modify it as you see fit. That's all good. What's important is you need to be aware of what's going on and stay the course in moving forward and moving the needle forward. So everybody, have yourself a wonderful, wonderful rest of your weekend. Remember, Wednesday evening, Joel is doing a presentation. Next Friday, 11 a.m., Tammy and I will be presenting. And I was keep in mind that all your leaders, all the diamonds and the platinums and emeralds and rubies that are moving up with God Backup here, that many of them are doing in French and English and Spanish. I'm working with some Spanish leaders. Sylvia is really working with me to start translating and creating some great content on the board for the Spanish community. So lots and lots of good stuff is going on here, folks. So have yourself a wonderful, wonderful rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.